be here than it will in 2 or 3 days. So we have adoption of the agenda. Any changes to the agenda? Do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda? So moved by Commissioner Smith. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cashin. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Great. Okay, we have an agenda. Do I hear a motion for approval of the December 17th minutes? So moved by Commissioner Smith.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cashin. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, minutes are passed. Do we have any council members present today? Seeing none, we'll move on. We appreciate their service. Metrics review, Robin?
Pre-applications were 14, permits issued 61, revised permits 16, and inspections conducted 257.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Great. And then, do we have any public comments for items not on the public hearing? Seeing none, we'll move on. Items for deferral or withdrawal. Do we have changes to the agenda?
Yes, items for a deferral withdrawal include on page 5, item number 7, 1903 4th Avenue North, to be deferred until notification requirements are met.
Okay, thank you. Consent items?
Yes, so note to applicants, if you are approved for a preservation permit today and you are not the contractor, please know that it is your responsibility to make sure that the contractor has a copy of the preservation permit before beginning work. The preservation permit includes items that require final approval and inspection requirements. The final drawings are a part of the preservation permit. Following the preservation permit will save you time and money, as enforcement of violations can sometimes be a lengthy and expensive process. The preservation permit is not a building permit. No work can begin without the appropriate review and approval by the Metropolitan Department of Codes Administration. So now on to the consent items. Items on the consent agenda will be read aloud to determine if there is opposition present. If there is opposition present, the items will be heard at the end of the meeting, and a public hearing will be held on those items. If no opposition is present, the item will be placed on the consent agenda. As noticed to the public, consent items will be voted on at a single time. No individual public hearing will be held, nor will the commission debate these items unless a member of the audience or the commission requests that the item be removed from the consent agenda. All right, so on page 4, item number 2 at 622 Shelby Avenue. Is there anyone in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 3 at 1615 Boscobel Street. Is there anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Still on page 4, item number 4, 1500 Boscobel Street. Is there anyone here in opposition to this item? Right. This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 5 at 106 Rosebank Avenue. Is there anyone present in opposition to this item? Okay, this item will be on the consent agenda. Also on page 4, 2011 19th Avenue South. Is there anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. On page 5, item number 8, 118 Mockingbird Road. Is there anyone here in opposition to this item? All right, this item will be on the consent agenda. And on the same page, item number 9, 2105 Lindell Avenue. Is there anyone here in opposition to this item? All right, this item will be on the consent agenda. I am now going to read through all the consent items as legal information. As information for our audience, if you are not satisfied with the decision today, you may appeal the decision by petitioning for a writ of certiorari with the Davidson County Chancery or Circuit Court. Your appeal must be filed within 60 days of the date of the commission's decision. To ensure that your appeal is filed in a timely manner and that all procedural requirements are met, please be advised to seek your own independent legal counsel. All right, starting on page 4, item number 2 at 622 Shelby Avenue. The recommendation is to approve with conditions. Item number 3, 1615 Boscobel Street. The recommendation is to approve with conditions. Item number 4, 1500 Boscobel Street. The recommendation is to approve with conditions. Also on page 4, 106, item number 5, 106 Rosebank Avenue. The recommendation is to approve with conditions. Item number 6, 2011 19th Avenue South. The recommendation is to approve with conditions. On page 5, item number 8, 118 Mockingbird Road. The recommendation is to approve with conditions. Item number 9, 2105 Lindell Avenue. The recommendation is to approve with conditions. And on page 3, item number 1 is to approve the administrative items.
Thank you, Melissa. We appreciate every applicant's work with the staff to bring these projects into compliance with the guidelines. And it's a great sign when things wind up on the consent agenda. And it says a lot about everybody working together. We appreciate that. Do I hear a motion for approval of the consent agenda? So moved by Commissioner Smith. Do I hear a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Cotton. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. So those projects are approved for preservation permit. Maybe a short meeting. So, Metro Historical Commission report.
Due to the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday on Monday, Historical Commission isn't meeting until this coming Monday. So we've met since I've met with them, but just a couple of notes, just to call out that there's been a couple new historical markers since the last meeting. So one was for a restored Cumberland Park historical marker at the corner of Wedgwood Avenue and Rains Avenue. The marker was originally placed in 1970 and went missing a few years ago. A local neighborhood organization paid for the replacement of the marker, and they added a cool new photo to one side showing what the park looked like in its horse racing heyday. So that's a cool one to check out. And then another new one is we just this past weekend unveiled a historical marker at the Cumberland Heights campus on River Road Pike. And so that is a new historical marker. There's also the search for the new director is the director is underway after Tim Walker, has retired. So that is ongoing, and barring anything I forgot, I'm sure Rob, that's, again, since we haven't met since our last meeting, those are the only things that I can think of, so.
Great, thank you. Planning Commission report?
No huge report. As you may have seen, we experienced the highs and lows of overlay proscription. And we are going to be taking up the Green Hills East historic overlay, I want to say in the second meeting in February. So that is yet to come. Other than that, I don't think have a huge, we did highlight the historic home that was part of the development that we talked about last time, the Merritt Home. And I highlighted that at the commission because that was a neat project and some fun synergy between a developer and historic. But that's all I got.
I love it when the new and the old come together in such a harmonious way. Yeah, that's great. Okay, DTC, do we have a report from DTC?
No report. No meeting. There was a meeting, but there was no business covered that would, so yeah, no report.
Good. Thank you.
Unfortunately, no.
Staff update report?
Yes, we also have today Rochelle Albright, who's the Chief of Staff for Planning. She's got some updates for us.
I know, this is my lovely first commission meeting, so yeah, I should come more. I will be quick. Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Rochelle Albright, and I am the Chief of Staff for the Planning Department. We received a question about the Historic Zoning Administrator position, and I wanted to provide an update on how that fits into a larger department-wide strategic planning process. Two things are influencing our ability to create that position, and the first, as I mentioned, is this department strategic plan, which the historic zoning staff have played a crucial role in since we launched at the beginning of this fiscal year. As part of this process, we've been able to understand what the historic zoning staff's needs are, not only in terms of staffing, but also potential new policy ideas, goals, things that they'd like to take on over the next year. And that includes what the role of the historic zoning administrator looks like over today and in the next 5, 10, 15 years. The team has submitted 2 roadmap documents, and this brings forward their ideas for an initial program review and a roadmap for the upcoming preservation plan that we're all excited to undertake. The second item influencing this position is the upcoming budget. When historic zoning staff moved over to the planning department, we learned that within Metro HR, this is actually not a position. And so we are taking the initial steps by creating that as a firm position within Metro HR. We have asked for that as part of we are in the process of asking for that with the FY27 budget, but we're also looking to add potentially a full-time administrative role to support the staff, as well as a historic preservationist 3 positions, which provides career growth for staff within the division. So we're excited about those. We do know, we have been told that Metro budget is tight this year, so we are hopeful to have some sort of growth to support the staff any way possible. Having the historic zoning staff in the planning department has filled a really important gap in our work in how we think about managing growth. As a city, we're really lucky that people continue to want to invest and come here, but we want to ensure that we're looking at projects in a really holistic way. This team has integrated so well into the department, and they've been a really vital voice as we've looked at a lot of different projects and applications that have come in. They're asking questions that maybe our plans reviewers or design studio staff didn't initially think to ask, and helping staff find creative solutions to protect important features, both built and natural, makes the design and development outcomes stronger for our city. Additionally, through some studies that we've already been planning for, we're able to meaningfully elevate ideas and policies that have been important to staff, like transfer of development rights program, making tax incentives more accessible, and considering strategies for rural preservation. So naturally, as we're thinking about these things, a discussion should be generated of how we are going to staff these up. And so I wanted to provide kind of a more holistic look at how we are thinking about not only the historic zoning administrator, but this team as a whole and the contributions that they make to the planning department. As we continue to make progress, we're happy to provide updates to you all. I know that I believe in February, you all are going to be hearing from the team in a work session about staff roles and tasks. So we may have some updates to share then. But for now, that's all that I've got. I'm happy to take any questions. And if you have any additional questions later on, Joni and I can answer those for you. So.
That's a great report. Thanks so much. Exciting to see everything coming together like that. So you mentioned the preservation plan. Can you give us a little bit more idea of what the expected time frame is for that?
Joni, do you want to speak to that? Thanks.
Thank you for that question, Chair Stewart. We have, you may know that the planning department has several consultants available to help us and support the work that we do. We have not tapped any of those consultant teams yet for any historic preservation work, but our goal is to spend, I would say, the first quarter of 2026 scoping the work of the preservation plan. That will be done with our partners in preservation. So that's nonprofits, our fellow Metro departments that touch historic preservation, both the historical commission staff, the parks department staff, anybody that has historic resources that they utilize or that they own as part of Metro government. And then also just making sure that we understand what that scope of work can be so we can send it out to our consultants. The consultants are kind of oriented towards planning and architecture services. So we anticipate that anyone wanting to pursue the preservation plan would have to deepen their bench of sub-consultants. And so we might rely on y'all's expertise and understanding of how to vet those folks. And there's usually kind of a deliberation process that we go through once we receive proposals after sending out that scope of work. So we plan to be very transparent with you and our partners in preservation as we tackle this kind of work. It may take a while. I'll be candid with you. The ecological conservation strategy that you all heard a little bit about at your last work session took quite some time to appropriately scope that work, as it is a countywide effort. This would be a countywide effort, and kind of not the traditional sort of planning for growth or planning for zoning change that we usually do through our planning work. So I think it's good, groundbreaking work that we'll be doing, but it may be a little slow to launch, to be candid with you. But I want to be careful that we're headed in the right direction and we don't head in the wrong direction for too long. So we will definitely be updating you on that as we get the ball rolling, looking for your support and feedback and guidance that we're getting the scope of work correct. So I would say, if I had to venture a guess, we would be talking to consultants in the third quarter of 2026.
And is the funding in place for this, or is that part of the new budget?
No, it is not part of the budget. We were actually recently discussing that. Council has given us an allotment of funding for general planning studies, and we believe the preservation plan nests nicely into that allocation. And so I'm not quite sure what the balance is of that, but we feel confident that we have substantial funding to cover it today.
Awesome, thank you.
Of course.
Thanks. Okay. That's great, thank you. Any other questions, comments?
I was just gonna say, thank you so much. I know I've been through like three corporate integrations in my career, and it's not always the easiest thing. But just thank you to you and the planning staff and our staff and everyone who's helped make this transition as smooth as it can be. So thank you.
Thank you. It's been a joy to have them join the team, and I really mean, like, they have elevated our work in a way that I think is better for the outcomes of Nashville. So thank you.
They're a pretty good crew.
They are great. They are great.
That's right. We're a little partial to them, so. That's right. But we've enjoyed working with you all too, so thank you. Good, excellent. Thank you. So our next meeting's on February 18th, and then March the 18th, and April 15th. Anything else to come before the commission? We are adjourned at.
One quick thing, we are working on our work session for February as well, so kind of keep that in mind.
Okay. And Rochelle, this is by far a huge record for the speed of getting through this week. I've never seen it before like this, so it's.
I can come back next time if that helps.
Thanks. Thanks. I don't think so. I can just say adjourn, right? We don't have to vote on that, right? So, thanks.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.